Hey friends, welcome. May 22nd, 2025. What if he still walks the earth today through gas stations and galleries, soup kitchens and sidewalks, not with fanfare and not on a throne, but in quiet humility, touching one person at a time? Every day in 2025, we follow this living Jesus, imagining where he might go, who he might notice, and what he might say in each city across America. This isn't fiction, it's faith meeting imagination, a sacred reimagining of Jesus with us now. And today, he walks through Reno, Nevada, the biggest little city that holds contradictions. The flicker of slot machines alongside flickers of hope, addiction, art, redemption, and despair, all swirling under neon lights. But Jesus enters the swirl without flinching. Because where we see mess, he sees mission. Join me as we walk with Jesus. So, before the city stirs, Jesus hikes through Rancho San Rafael Park, where the dew still clings to desert wildflowers and the hum of distant traffic is muffled by the trees. He walks past the Wilbur D. May Arboretum, then settles under a sprawling oak tree. Kneeling in the dirt, he prays aloud. Father, today I walk into a city bursting with questions. Questions hidden behind poker faces, behind designer sunglasses, behind pain numbed by pills and pass. Open my ears to hear what others won't. Open their hearts to what they've long buried. Let me walk with them until they remember they're not alone. The wind carries his words across the hillside. Birds begin their morning chorus. He stands slowly, dusts off his jeans, and walks back toward town with a purpose burning in his step. It's mid-morning now at the Nevada Museum of Art. A docent is nervously guiding a group of high schoolers from DeMonte Ranch High School through an exhibit on environmental destruction and human resilience. Jesus walks in behind the group, unnoticed. They stand before a painting titled Fractured Earth, Beating Heart. A collage of dry riverbeds, wildfire ash, and a single red flower rising from cracked soil. One boy mutters, "Looks depressing." Jesus speaks softly. Or maybe it's a promise that even in your worst season, beauty can rise again. The group turns to look at him. I see a soul here, he continues, pointing to the flower, wounded but refusing to quit. That flower is your mother, or your brother, or maybe it's you. Silence. A girl begins to cry, quietly. She lost her dad to overdose last year. No one's told her his life still mattered until now. At noon, Jesus slips into St. Vincent's dining room on Valley Road. He ties an apron around his waist and begins serving trays of chili mac, cornbread, and peaches in syrup. But he doesn't rush. He looks each person in the eye, calls them by name if he knows it, asks for stories, not just stats. At the back of the line stands Cole, 41, former plumber, now homeless. Now he's strung out. His hands tremble and he doesn't meet anyone's eyes. When it's his turn, Jesus sets down the tray and says, "You're not invisible." Cole scoffs. "Whatever, you don't know me." "I know enough," Jesus says. "You used to help build homes. Now you can barely sleep on concrete, but you're still worthy of grace." Cole doesn't cry. He can't. But for the first time in months, he eats a full meal. Not because he's hungry, but because someone saw him. It's afternoon now, and Jesus walks into Baruka Theater, where a passionate group of young adults is rehearsing a play titled Echoes of Silence, exploring trauma, mental health, and family secrets. The theater is nearly empty. The director sighs, knowing that they've only sold 12 tickets for opening night. Jesus watches from the back row. Their acting isn't perfect. Their lighting flickers. But their truth? Flawless. After rehearsal, Jesus steps forward and applauds slowly. "You told the truth," he says. They chuckle afterward. "Yeah, but no one's listening." Jesus replies, "God hears every line you whisper in the dark. Keep speaking. You may be saving someone you'll never meet." Marcus, the lead actor, walks outside with Jesus afterward. "I was supposed to be a preacher, but I didn't fit the mold." Jesus smiles. "Maybe you weren't meant to fit. Maybe you were meant to free." Marcus stands a little taller. It's late afternoon now in the fading sun, and Jesus walks quietly into the Hungry Valley Community Center, north of Reno, home to members of the Reno Sparks Indian Colony. He joins Joseph Two Feathers, 63, who is carving tribal totems with his grandson. They talk little, but they understand each other. Joseph finally says, "They tried to erase us. They burned our language, buried our songs." Jesus gently places a hand on the cedar carving. "But your breath remains, and heaven still remembers the names they tried to erase." Later, Jesus helps the grandson, Elijah, sand a bear totem smooth. Elijah asks, "Do you think God hears native prayers?" Jesus looks him in the eye. "I think God taught your people to pray long before the missionaries came." Elijah carves deeper, his hand steadier now. It's evening now, and Jesus strolls through the Midtown district, where vintage neon signs buzz the life, and the smell of espresso, weed, and motor oil mixes in the warm air. He stops at Junkie Clothing Exchange, helping an elderly man find a pair of pants that don't fall off. He sits near the Emerson bar, where a woman cries into a cocktail. He doesn't interrupt. He simply slides a note across the table. I see you. You are not broken beyond repair. He listens to a jazz duo playing outside Reno Public Market and drops a 20 in their case. A homeless veteran named Arnold, pushing a shopping cart, bumps into Jesus. Sorry, man, he mumbles. Jesus smiles. You've carried enough. Let me help push. They walk 2 blocks in silence together. Arnold doesn't know why, but for the first time in years, his shoulders feel lighter. It's night now, and Jesus climbs halfway up Pavine Peak and looks down over Reno's shimmering city lights, pulsing like a restless heartbeat. He kneels in the dirt once more and prays. Father, I saw glory today. In cracked paintings, trembling hands, whispered monologues, and carved wood. I saw pain today too, but pain that still wants to be healed. Stay with this city tonight. Be near the ones who gamble their last hope. Be near the child who fell asleep to shouting. Be near the ones who think you've left, because I haven't. He looks up at the stars, and a single tear glides down his cheek, not out of sorrow, but deep, sacred love. Amen. And if you're listening and wondering if he's real, let me tell you, he's the reason a man didn't overdose tonight. He's the reason a girl saw herself in a painting. The reason someone like you still has breath in their lungs and a calling still burning. So, come back tomorrow on Friday, May 23rd, because Jesus will walk again, and someone there will never be the same. If you think about it, it could be you. Before you leave, I'd like to say a prayer for all the hopes, needs, intentions, anything at all that you're holding in your heart today that's important to you. You ready? I'll lead. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. That was nice. Now, don't forget, if you don't subscribe to our channel, hit the subscribe button. It'd be a great time to do that. Then you become a permanent member of our family, and you'll be notified when we put out new videos. And we put out 2 to 6 new videos every single day. Also, don't forget to hug your family. because they love you. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow, friends. God bless you.